Man, I hear you. Welcome to Mid America Dirt. I'm Skip, and I am super excited to be joined by Adam Stricker. Adam, how are you doing today, man?
Great. How are you?
Doing good. Well, let me start off first of all by saying happy birthday.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're out there working on your birthday, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
I got you. I got you. So, yeah, I know you're from Ohio. Where are you from in Ohio?
I'm from like east. We're 45 minutes east of Cincinnati.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, you're down in the south part of the state, man. It's nice down there. I like it all, but, yeah, that's pretty cool. So, I know last year you won the modified portion of the Dirt Track World Championship of Eldora. Is that right?
Yep, that's correct. Yep.
And did you win it the year before that too? Or
No, I don't think I'd ever that last year was the first year that I had ran the dirt track at
okay,
Eldora. It was always at Portsmouth before, which is like it's probably an hour and 45 minutes from us. Fairly close, about the same as Eldora. And I went there many years and just never could get it done. Actually, Portsmouth is the only place in our tri-state that I've never been able to win at. I've been there countless times and just never could get it done. And the dirt track was always there. So I always struggled there and then had quite a few laps at Eldora and was really excited to go back. This is actually the car behind me here is actually the car that I won with it.
that's awesome, man. That's awesome. And speaking of that, you're also having a giveaway, right, on
Yeah.
Facebook and stuff.
Yep, absolutely.
Can you
So
tell me about that?
obviously, yeah. So obviously, the cars behind me here is it's an elite chassis. Nick Hoffman is one of my best friends. His entire family has done a ton for me over the years, all the way back to his dad built my engines. Nick built my cars, and Jeremy and Ashley and all of them with Millbridge. They took me in. What I mean, if I'd go down and build a car for a week, we'd all go over to Millbridge. They took me in like family and Dean as well, obviously, is Nick's uncle. Anytime I'm around Dean or if we go to the dome or something like that, I mean, he's or even go back to camping in Eldora. Like a lot of times I would camp with Dean and Daryl and Rhonda and Ashley and all of them at Eldora. And they always took me in and just kind of treated me like families. Um, Obviously, Dean's son, Zach, his daughter, unfortunately, she's going through some medical issues here. And like I said in my post, and everybody that knows me I have a really soft spot for kids. I have a little girl of my own. So stuff like that, when you read it, really hurts. And there's only one way that I know how to help, the most that I possibly can. And obviously, that's through racing fan base. So yeah, we got my two. I have two doors left over from when I raced supers for Jim Beeman. Obviously, one of them is the Eldora throwback for my grandfather when he ran. They won the first World 100, so that was the scheme that they had for the world. So I had that car, I had that door left over, and then obviously one of my blue doors. So just auctioning off one of them for Zach's daughter there, just trying to help out, the best way that I know.
Yeah, that man, that's super awesome. And I'll link all that so people can find it. And you guys go bid on that door. Uh, that's a great cause, man, and I'm all about great causes on here. We do a lot of it, so um, that's awesome. I wanted to make sure we talked about that because I did see that
Yeah,
this afternoon when I
yeah,
looked.
I
So,
appreciate that.
listen, I know you've talked about this a lot. You've been on Kenny Wallace, and I know I watched it today again. But for people in my area, basically the four state area over here in Northeast Oklahoma and Kansas and Arkansas, Missouri. Tell me, you just said what your grandpa won the World 100, the first one?
No, so my grandfather he had two cars then, the first World 100. Bruce Gould, you
Okay,
can't see it. You can't see it in this screen here, but there's a picture over here, like to off to my over my right hand shoulder here, of the car that they had won with. Bruce Gould had drove for my grandfather, and he had
okay,
won. So it was just kind of like the color scheme and like whole layout of their deal there when they won. It was red and Bruce's number was number 30. My grandpa was always 68. Um, yeah, so it was just cool to be able to do something like that. It was something I've always dreamed of doing. and to be able to do it was really cool. So I had a few doors left over and just hung on for kind of stuff like that.
I got you. I got you. So tell me, for people that don't know, tell me how you got started. You're obviously from a racing family. Kind of give me a background on all that, if you would.
Yeah, so at an early age there, my dad had raced a lot. And then he had some foot surgery. And they had Weasel Rose Drive there for a while, and just basically growing up, like you said, around it, it was pretty much all I knew. And then, kind of as I got older, we would go to some go-kart races. My dad would take us to, like, Fort Wayne and stuff like that, just to see go-kart stuff like, he grew up doing. And it was kinda one of them deals that I just seen it and wanted to do it. And, fortunately enough that, I think I started around, like, 6 or 7, and, we had bought some go-kart stuff and just ran karts there for a long time. And, unfortunately, my mother, her health, got a little bit bad there, and we just kinda had to put that on the back burner. And, just kinda obviously worry about that first. That was most definitely most important there. And so we sat out for a while, and I kind of went back to going with my grandpa racing. He was still racing with Weasel and his modified. And so I did that for a long time. And we decided we was just going to sell the go-kart stuff just because it, was getting outdated. We wasn't racing enough, and we would try to go every once in a while. But, just like big car racing, you sit out for a couple weeks, or even like in our case, we sat out for, we would race once or twice a year, and it just was hard to keep up at that point. So, um, decided to sell everything there. And I, like I said, just went back going with my grandpa racing his modified. And um my dad, he kind of got introduced back into it. And my grandpa had asked my dad if he wanted to drive. It was right around 2013. He got back in. And so at that point I was, 13 years old, and was fortunate enough to be able to go out and make some laps after the features would be over at our local track. And my grandpa would let me turn some laps, 10, 15 laps. We'd load it up, go home. And so once I started doing that, then, the fire was really lit then. I mean, I really wanted to do it. And, in 2013, towards the end of 13, my dad ended up having to have knee surgery. So, he was gonna be done. And at that time, I had probably made, 50 to 60 laps. And, my dad had asked my grandfather if it would be okay if he just put me in for a night just to see how it went. And, he was fine with it. And it was like the 4th or 5th night out at a local racetrack here. I was able to win a feature. It was like the last feature of the year that they had there. So I was fortunate enough to win that. And then in 2014, I was 14 years old, and that would have been my first full year behind the wheel of modified.
How'd that first year go?
It was good. We won 4 races. We didn't really race a whole lot, obviously, just first full year, just kinda raced around home. And we was able to win a couple races, but more than anything, it was cool just to have a full year underneath my belt. And really learn the ins and outs of everything. And it was still at the young age of that I wanted to just go to the racetrack and play a little bit. And I kind of learned pretty quick that there was way less play and more work. And so once I learned that,
Right.
we started clicking off more wins.
I got you. I got you. Well, I checked my race pass today, to get up to date, and you've got 9 so far this year.
Yeah, yeah, we haven't got to race as much. I'm normally, obviously, like I said there before, I got a little girl now. She just turned 1 a couple months ago. And we're building a house right next door. This is my grandparents' race shop. This is where I've raced out, all my life. And so right next door here, I was able to get some property off of them, and we had just built a new house. And so we're trying to get our house done. We're trying to get in by the end of October here. So just spent a lot of time with that. And normally we race anywhere from 40 to 50 races a year. And I don't know how many I've raced this year. I think I've only ran like less than, I think I
28.
ran less than, yeah, I was gonna say less than 30 for sure. So it's just a slow year for us. But yeah, we was able to, fortunately, be able to pick off quite a few wins in this modified here. And then a few in the super late model as well. So yeah, it's been a good year. Just obviously not racing as much as we normally do, but other stuff has to come first.
Yeah, I got you. I completely understand. So when did you start doing the late models?
Um, in 2023, I think it was 23. I had ran a few races around home for some guys that like had some super stuff that was some family friends of ours. They let me go out, they run a feature or something like that. Or John Whitney let me run a full night in his car at Florence one night. And but in 2000, I think it was 2024. Um, yeah, 2023 or 24, right there at the end. I started driving for Masters Built, and then in 24, I ran for him for a while, and then we just kind of parted ways there a little bit, and just wanted to go back to my modified stuff. Nothing, no hard feelings or nothing like that. I mean, we just kind of wanted to go back to racing modifieds, and um, it was cool to do it, and I'm very thankful for them. For that matter, I'm very thankful that Jerrilyn and Tater and all his guys gave me the opportunity that they did. And then, it was a few short weeks afterwards, I got a phone call from Jim Beeman, which was, a sponsor of theirs as well. And he had kind of just asked me if I wanted to race supers and what I wanted to do and kind of stuff like that. And like I said, at the time, I'd come back to race my modified. So I didn't really know if I wanted to run supers, didn't really know what I wanted to do at that time. And so I kind of just sat down and thought about it and talked some things over with everybody and sponsors, my wife and my grandfather and all that kind of stuff, just to kind of get everybody's opinion. So I was very fortunate enough in 2024. I was racing with Jim Beeman there, and we raced all of the rest of 24. We bought a rocket car like midway, brand new rocket, midway through 24 there, finished the year, and then for raced all of 25, and then, well, I'm sorry, we raced 23 and then all of 24 there, and then at the end of 24, we just kind of split ways there and just kind of started around the modified stuff this year.
I got you. I got you. So, di I ask every mod driver this. What, uh, what would you rather drive? What do you like driving better, late model or modified?
As far as, I mean, what I like driving better, I mean, I like the late models. I like the late models for the challenge. I like the modified stuff because it's way harder to drive than the late model stuff is, because it's just way more technical. You're on way less rubber. And then aero is not, you're not into the racetrack as much as the late model stuff. The aero and late models is just so important. The modifieds are getting that way. They're not nowhere near as bad, but they're heading that direction a little bit. But as far as what I like to drive, I mean, I really like the late models, and obviously, anybody's, any young racer's dream is always obviously to race late models full time or whatever. And um, but I really love the modified stuff. I've ran the modified stuff here more this year than I have in the past, and it's not that I was ever not having fun, but it's really got me just really ready to go again.
I got you. So you're modified. Is that your team? I mean, you own
No,
that
nope.
modified. That's
So
you guys.
No, so we sold everything, and right there before I started driving for Jim, just it was just getting so expensive, and obviously my grandpa's getting older, and I'm getting older, and now I got my daughter, and like I said, and all that kind of stuff. So it was time for us to start slowing down, and I felt like I had good enough of people around me that I could race a car maybe 10, 15 times a year. And then, like I said, we race a gym, and then this car here is owned by Craig and Louis Christian. They live, in the West Virginia area there, but fortunately enough, they've been with me for a long time, have always been right behind me. Uh, when I was racing modifieds there in 2022, we had took the national UMP national point lead. So I'd actually blew a motor at Shady Hill, and I didn't know what I was going to do. We were leading the points, and obviously it was kind of early in the year. It was going to be hard to win the points just because our schedule it doesn't really line up as well as what it would this day and age to be able to do that kind of stuff. But we had blew a motor, and Craig and Louis let me have actually this car right here, let me run that car and won quite a few races with it to keep my point lead until we got our stuff back. And then, obviously, when the late model stuff split, they just fielded me with a car again.
I got you. So I just, for people that don't know, and I know you've been on, well, you're an expert. You've been on expert shows and stuff. I try to talk about stuff that people that don't know anything about the sport,
Yeah,
might not
absolutely.
know.
Yep.
How does that? So I mean, and even for me, I don't know. So you just does a car owner just say, "Hey, here's our car. You go take it. You take care of it, and do the maintenance on it. How does that work?
Yeah, obviously all just depends on the situation. When I race with Jim, it was an agreement that, he would field the cars, but we had to have sponsors to pay for tires and fuel and all that kind of stuff. And then, obviously he would pay all of our way in, all that kind of stuff. And basically it was just up to me to get enough sponsors and everything to keep rubber on the car and fuel in it and just stuff like that. But I've been very fortunate over the years to have great product sponsors, and so that helped me a ton. And the modified situation here pretty much is close to the same. Obviously, it's way cheaper to run modified week to week than it is the late model stuff. So, but it's pretty much the same deal. I mean, I bring my sponsors to this thing just because I know when we had our own equipment. I know what it was like to race. Now, obviously, this situation here is a little bit different than the late model stuff, just because whatever we win goes right back into the car, which the late model stuff was as well. But I control everything here, so it's not my car, it's not my motor. But as far as like the books, I guess you could say, I control all that, and then just basically whatever we win goes right back into the car. Or, nobody gets paid or nothing like that. But I've been very
Okay.
fortunate enough with Craig and Louie that they've have taken very good care of me, and just whatever I need to race, I've been able to do it.
Okay. Can you make money racing?
I would like to say that you can, but I almost tell everybody racing is almost like gambling. I'm not much of a gambler, but I almost feel like you can get ahead. Like you might leave the casino 3 times in a row with money in your pocket, but you're going to go a fourth time
Yeah,
and you're going to take a big hit. You know what I mean? It's
I
that's kind
got
of
you.
how it's kind of the way it goes. I definitely think you can make money, um, but I feel like it's hard to, for one, when you don't own the stuff, and then two, if you don't have enough sponsors, you definitely can't do it. Uh, I mean, like
Yeah. I
with
mean,
the
hey, listen, from the top down, I have not seen anybody yet or talked to anybody yet that didn't need sponsors. And I'm talking from,
yeah,
you know, late models, super late models, all the way down to freaking bombers. I haven't met
yeah,
anybody that couldn't use more sponsors.
yeah. I mean, when we race the late model stuff, like I can tell you that $30,000 in sponsorships wouldn't get you through the year in tires or fuel.
What do you think late model wise, the super stuff? How much is a tire bill for a year?
Well, I mean, the way I would always do it would, like if we was to go run a Lucas show, which we ran a lot of Lucas Oil and World of Outlaw shows with the late model stuff we had with Jim. Um, anytime you go, if it's a one night show, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna go through 6 tires. So you're gonna start off with 3, you might not start off with 4 if you got a new left front on, but 9 times out of 10, you're gonna roll out with 4 brand new NLMT2s, and then feature time, you might bolt on, depending on where the racetrack is, but 9 times out of 10, you're gonna bolt on 3 news, you're gonna bolt on 2 rears and a right front. Anywhere from you could
250
be
a
anywhere
piece?
from yeah, I mean, they're 225 to 250 probably somewhere in there. I haven't really bought any because the late model stuff isn't here anymore, obviously. Yeah, I think they're somewhere right around that 250 range.
How much are the mod tires? I mean, are they a big difference or are they about the same price?
I mean, I wanna say they're around, like, 200. I think they're somewhere right in there. So, I mean, they're a little bit cheaper, but the thing is, like, modified tires, you got 2 compounds. With the late model stuff, you got 3 compounds, 3 right rear compounds, 2 left rear, 2 right front compounds. And then on top of that, like the modified stuff, you don't really like if I go run, let's just go say for instance, I go run a Mars Racing Series race, which is, just say like Lucas Oil of late models. Let's just say I go run that. So I'm gonna bolt on 3 new tires to start, and then for the feature, I'm gonna bolt on 1. You know what I mean? I'm gonna bolt on 1 new one, and then, like, for the late model stuff, you would start like I said, you would start off with 3 or 4 brand new ones, and for the feature, you're gonna bolt on 3 or 4 brand new tires, you know what I mean? So it could be anywhere from 6 to 8 tires in a late model to where I'm gonna bolt on 4 brand new tires in 1 night in a modified, which granted, you race for less money, I understand all that kinda stuff, but, um, that's just kinda one of the things you have to look at, I reckon.
Well, that too kind of depends on how far you want to travel, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you could probably go find a pretty good paying mod show somewhere, right? Like any given weekend, you probably, if you wanted to travel to it. Is that
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, obviously the way I always did it, and I still do it to this day, just and I catch some grief over it sometimes, but it is what it is. I don't really care what people say. But so I have a racetrack, it's 15 minutes for me, and they race modifieds every Friday night. So obviously it's no question that or any sort of racing is expensive. So a lot of times, 9 times out of 10, I would go race Muller on Friday night. And if I could win, we would venture out a little bit for obviously way further on Saturday because we had a little bit money from the night before, which just like I said, it kind of goes back to that gambling thing. You might have a good night, first 2 nights, and then the third night, it'd be a loss. So, but it made our trip there a lot easier because we knew we had a little bit of money to race on. Obviously, we wasn't going to race Muller on Friday night and then go to, Pennsylvania on Saturday. I mean, we didn't do none of that, but we would just try to find something that paid, 1500 and above on Saturday.
I got you. I got you. Let me ask you this question: What is your favorite track to run on? Do you have a favorite track that you just love to run on?
Yeah,
Like you say, oh, I can't wait to get there.
yeah, I mean, they're everybody you talk to, I mean, they tell you, like, all the time, it's Eldora. I mean, Eldora is a
Eldora.
blast. Eldora is a blast to drive on. One place I would like to really go back to is, Bedford. We went to Bedford there for that, DJ Troutman race the first year they had it, and that was a blast. I mean, it was a really nice place. We were gonna do Port Royal this year is a place I've been really wanting to go to, but, they had a modified Mafia Tour race there, and I think something happened maybe with sponsorship on the purse or something, but we wanted to go to that, and we didn't get to go. They cut the purse there, so it didn't make sense for us to go. But as far as a place that if I have a choice out in front of me to go back to every week, and a place that I love very much, yeah, it's definitely on.
Yeah, man. I went to the Dream this year, and that was the first time I'd been there since like 1991. I
Yeah,
think we went up there and we watched Billy Moyer win at 91, the World 100. But we went to the Dream this year. TV does not do it justice how fast those cars are going around that place or how fast
yeah,
the racing is there. I mean, it's
yeah,
just
yeah. I mean
it's
the
awesome.
the modified stuff there is a blast for me. The late model stuff is not as fun. I guess I could have question could have went both ways. If I was gonna race a late model somewhere, I wouldn't go to Eldora. It wouldn't be my pick to go to Eldora. If I was gonna take a modified somewhere, it'd be Eldora. Just because like I said, the aero is way less with the modifieds versus the late models. The late models, I tell everybody, you have to have way more luck than you have to have speed to go up there with a late model.
Yeah. Yeah. I had Travis Stemler has been on the show, and I know I think he was track champion there at Eldora one year. He really loved that place.
Yeah,
Um,
it's an
but
awesome place. Yeah, like I said, I really enjoy it there.
have you ever been down here in our part of the world, like around Arrowhead or
No,
Lucas? Did you ever race Lucas?
mm-mm. Yeah, I raced.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
man,
raced a lot of Lucas Oil races there.
yeah, man, we got two pretty good. I mean, we got two really good tracks over here. You know, we got Arrowhead over here, pretty close to where I'm at, and then we got Lucas up at Wheatland, and we're blessed with some really good tracks over here, and some really good racing and some really good young drivers coming up. I mean, there's 4 or 5 here in Northeast Oklahoma that are teenagers that pretty excited about those guys, man. Pretty
Yeah,
excited about
yeah.
them. What advice would you give, man, to like young guys, that are coming up? You got any advice that you throw their way?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I grew up for a long time. Um, Racing was all I ever wanted to do, and I put a lot of stuff on the back burner, because of racing. And um, I can. I mean, I feel like I'm not saying I've done it all because I haven't done it all, um, but I've been very close friends with people. Like I said, Nick Hoffman's one of my best friends. There's a lot of people out there that I'm very close with that have done it all, and I can tell you that 9 times out of 10, I hear I missed a lot, to do what I'm doing. And I can tell you right now, I missed a lot to do what I've done. And the things that I have missed out on, I sometimes kick myself in the butt for it. I ain't saying I'm not saying you should never chase your dreams because you definitely should chase your dreams, but I can tell you sometimes your dreams really ain't your dream, if that makes sense.
I got you. I understand.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I
You know,
like I said, I missed a
being around
lot.
almost 50 years.
Yeah, I mean, I missed a lot, doing what we done, and, like I said, I put a lot on the back burner, just because racing was all I ever wanted to do, and I mean, it still is. I love it. I mean, my wife can tell you, I love it just as much as probably, when we first got together, but, it's a tough sport, and it can I've been at the lowest of lows and almost at the highest of highs for me, and it can beat you down quick, and, but one thing I always tell my grandpa when we raced together was that if he ever just wasn't having fun, to just tell me, and that way we could reevaluate. Because I can tell you, once you get burnt out in racing, I know on my end, and like I said, I've talked to a bunch of other people. The same scenario and the same exact words that I'm about to tell you is once you get burnt out, it is so hard to to get any fire back in you because you know how fast you can get burnt out, and you know what it's like to get burnt out, and you don't ever get to that
Have
point
you
again.
been burnout?
I've been burnt out plenty times. Yep. And I mean, um, just kinda this year, I got a little bit burnt out, and it wasn't anything to do with racing really. I think a lot of it was to do with, like I said, I put a lot of stuff on the back burner, and now, I'm now this day and age, like I said, I'm building a house and all this kinda stuff, and so I've been doing a lot of stressful things, and then, racing beats you up. You take a very stressful week and you go race, and it's a very bad weekend, and then you're just like, "Dude, I don't wanna do this anymore," you know what I mean? I've been there. I've been there plenty of times.
It's tough, man. I mean, I know I've talked to a lot of guys. Hey, it's almost like circus life, right? I mean, you're just
Yep,
constantly on the go. I
yep,
mean, you're going somewhere. You gotta, most guys I talk to, or I mean, pretty much all of them, work a day job, come home in the evening, work on their cars, get a little bit of family time in if they can, and freaking on the weekend they're gone,
yep. I mean, that was like when
and
we
then
had
just
the
over and over.
Yeah, when we had the late model stuff here, when I raced for Jim, I was fortunate enough that we had one full time crew guy, and that was his job, and he was very good at it. He did a great job, and so I was very fortunate to work my day job, and come home, and obviously his day job was to make sure everything was taken care of on the race car side. So that was very easy for me. That was a time in my life right there that I felt like I could focus on what I needed to do, to race and to take care of my family and to be able to do it the way that I wanted to do it. And like I said, I was very fortunate enough with the equipment that I had, to do it. And I'm still thankful to this day because actually, when we go to Eldora, I'm going to use some of Jim's equipment to go to Eldora. I mean, we still talk all the time, so I'm very fortunate enough to still have great partnerships and friendships that I've had over pretty much my entire racing career.
Yeah, I mean, for people that don't know, I mean, the racing community is really connected. I mean, it's just the network is pretty amazing. I didn't realize that until I got into this. How guys over here know guys, over on the East Coast, or
Hmm.
guys way down south, know guys way up north. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, I mean, it's a
the
small world, but a big world.
yeah, it really is. So let me ask you this question now: have you ever got in a sprint car?
I've not no. Me and my wife, we went to Lawrenceburg. I think it was Lawrence. No, it was Florence. They had a high limit race there, and Florence is about 45 minutes here from us. And I told her, I was like, man, I'd love to hot lap a sprint car, but I don't think I got what it takes to race a sprint car. But I would love to hot lap a sprint car.
I've heard that several times with this show. People
Yeah,
said the same thing. I'd love to take it out and haul at it.
yeah, yeah. I would hot
So
lap it, but I don't think I'm interested in racing it.
yeah, yeah. I just recently myself got into. I mean, I watch it on TV a lot, but we had some 305 sprints around here at a couple of places, and I've just kind of started watching it, and it's pretty cool to see those things go around there. I'm still a late model guy, I guess. I
Yeah.
always will be. I think most people are, but those sprints, man, they're neat.
Yeah,
They really are. They
we
they
got Yeah, we got a sprint car guy around here, Justin Clark. I'm not sure if you know him or not, but Justin Clark, he
Sounds
ran
familiar.
305s. He won the IMCA Race Saver Championship, national championship there, I think twice. And he ran some 410 stuff, and he's getting ready to go to. I'm not going to tell what it is because he hasn't told anybody yet, but he's getting ready to run like some big tire stuff here. You know what I mean, with fenders and stuff like that
Okay.
on it. And so
Oh,
he's
cool.
got out of his got out of his sprint car stuff and he's getting into he might race a mod or a late model, one of the two. I can't tell yet, but um
Okay.
so I'm excited for him. I'm anxious to see what he says versus, running sprint cars to something like,
Right.
this stuff.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I've talked to some guys this weekend actually at Thunderbird Speedway over here that race sprints, and now they're in a late model. They prefer the late model.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That may just be them, but they say they're all different. They all drive different, but I don't know. I guess they say it's just something about the late model
Yeah.
that they really like. So, but what is your racing wise? What is your what's the moment that stands out for you, racing
You
wise?
mean
That's the
as far as like a
high
accomplishment
point
for
of your
me
career.
or
Yeah.
probably I mean, obviously, winning the DTWC was huge for me, just because not only was it such a big event in its entirety for the late models and the modifieds, and but it's an event that I've been to probably since 2016 and raced year after year, and I just never even could come close. And then obviously when I went to Eldora, I think I missed the first one. I think it was the first one. Our wedding was on the DTWC weekend, so I missed it, and then we went to we went back to Eldora when I won the DTWC, and to come from 15th to do it was really cool. And then this
Yeah.
one right here, so you can see it right here. This one we were on stage at Eldora, and then this is the check for it here. My grandpa had been to Eldora. I'd have to go back and look at the post, but he hadn't been to Eldora for like it was like 30 years, and that win there, I think we started like ninth, and I was able to do that, and it was just cool to me because I always said I wanted to stand on the stage with my grandpa before it was too late, and I didn't care what it was. I just wanted to be there. You know what I mean? Because obviously
Yeah.
I was never there when they won the world and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's no question that late model racing this day and age is tough, and to
Yeah.
win the World 100 right now would be, one in a million for me right now, just because I don't race them, and so that was something I always wanted to do before it was too late, was just to be able to stand up there with them one time.
That's awesome, man. I mean, for real. Uh, I'd like to know what that feels like. I really would.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
I
was
bet
cool.
there's
I
a
mean, it
bunch of
was
people who do.
yeah, it was. I mean, it was only I don't know if you can see it, but it was only 1,000. But I mean, I didn't care if it paid $200. You know, what I mean, it just um, to
Yeah.
me, and you can even go back and watch the interview. To me, it was just more important to me to be able to do it, to stand there with them, to just know that the success that they had there and the history that they have there, just it's something that I can always say, no matter what. You know, what I mean, I'll have that picture forever to say that I was able to do that.
And your wedding anniversary's on that weekend?
Yeah, I think I can't
Hey,
remember. I can't remember.
you
I think
gotta
they changed the dates now to where it
oh, did
wouldn't
they?
be
Okay.
on my anniversary anymore. But yeah, I think it was the first year. I know I missed one of them. I think it was the first year that they had Eldora that I had missed it, because
Yeah.
I think this year
I
might
got
be
you.
the third, and I think I won the second annual.
I got you. Uh, well, I tell you what, I've had you on here for quite a while. It's your dadgum birthday. I'm not going to keep you on here any longer.
Oh, you're
Do you
fine.
have any sponsors you want to thank while you're on here?
Yeah, absolutely. I want to thank obviously Craig and Louis Christian and Craig's wife for letting me keep this car here, obviously to be able to race. And I'm still racing super stuff. I'm racing for Tim Logan. Very thankful for him and his family to be able to, race for them. And we don't race as much as I do the modified stuff, just because he's got his family, and he still does his stuff. and for one, I don't get to keep it here, and it's kind of tough for him to just get everything done and go race. So, yeah, most definitely him and just my entire family, man. You know, my wife, my daughter, and my mom, my dad, my grandparents. I mean, it's a whole family operation, and I've been very fortunate enough all my life to have the support that I have from them, and just at any given time, I mean, I'll beat myself up and come home, beat myself up, and you know, they pick me up, and dust me off, and you know, just get me back going, and just all our product sponsors. I mean, there's a lot here, like Matt and Amy Basham here, the Stainless Craft, they've done a ton for me. Um, I mean, they have done a lot for me here lately, and just they were with my father-in-law racing together, and my father-in-law quit, and then they came over to help me, and so I've been very thankful for them. And CNC Towing right behind me here, Justin and Beth Dalton, they've done a lot for me over the years, and just been great friends and great supporters. Everybody that's on this car, I could take you around it and show you all the sponsors on it, but just very thankful for everybody that's always stood behind me and have always had my back no matter where I'm at, wherever I land on my feet, and just very thankful.
Yeah. That's cool, man. Do you have merch
We
right
don't,
now?
no. So
Okay.
obviously, like I said, with how busy everything's been going, we had a merch trailer and just never really got into it this year just because everything's been going on. I didn't really have it even remotely time to think about messing with it. So probably next year.
I gotcha. I gotcha. Well, I know when uh kind of how like we got talking in the first place is you're like, hey, you need to get some metal back there, some sheet metal back there on that wall. One of these days,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get some of that sheet metal from you, man.
Yeah, I still have a bunch of my old, like, the bigger scale and the small scale die cast, just stuff that's left over, but, I don't ever really try to sell it just because it's so hard to sell that kind of stuff just because, I'm not racing it anymore. So really I just hang on to it. Any kids or something like that come around, I'll just give them 1 or 2 of them and just send them home with it.
That's cool, man. Well, that right there will get you some daggum fans quick,
Yeah.
lifetime
Yeah.
fans.
I've always
I
been a
mean,
kid person, man. I mean, like I said, now
me
that
too.
Yeah, now that I got my little girl, it hits you even harder. And obviously, the kids are the next generation of the sport. I mean,
Absolutely.
if we don't interest them or give them a reason to want to come back, it's kind of hard to keep the sport going.
Yeah, man, I totally agree with you. That's why I have a lot of young people on this show, that are starting out. That's because I think it is really important. And I'm a girl dad and a girl grandpa now. So, I like to get the ladies on here also. So hopefully 3, 4 years old, I'm going to get that granddaughter in a cart or something.
Yeah. Yeah, my little girl, she's obviously been around it since, she was in her mommy's belly, so she's a rotten one. She goes to the racetrack, she won't wear her earmuffs, she nothing bothers her. I mean,
She's
she'll fall asleep.
hardcore.
Yeah, she'll fall asleep in the stands just, I mean, at the drop of a hat and no worry
That's
whatsoever.
awesome. That's awesome. Well, man, hey, I appreciate you coming on here and talking to me, especially on your daggum birthday. Happy birthday again.
Yep,
Uh,
appreciate it.
yeah, but seriously, thanks. I really appreciate it, and hopefully we have another part two or something sometime soon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe during
Yep,
off season, come back on
yep.
here and talk to me. I appreciate it for
Yeah,
real. Thank
absolutely.
you.
Anytime. I appreciate you having me. You can ask my wife. I love talking. If it's anything to do with racing, we can talk all night.
I got you. I got you. Well, thanks again. I appreciate it.
Yep. Thank you.